Hey everybody, movie reviewer next door here, and I'm back with another review. And I'm rounding out the Roadhouse series for now, since this is getting a sequel with Roadhouse 2024. This is an action thriller film directed by Doug Liman from 2024, and it stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Daniela Melchior, Billy Magnussen, Colin McGregor, Jessica Williams, Joaquin de Almeida, BK Cannon, and Lucas Gage. In this film, ex-UFC fighter Dalton takes a job as a bouncer at a Florida Keys roadhouse, only to discover that this paradise is not all it seems. So, what did I think of Roadhouse? I was hoping, given the director, that it would at least be enjoyable action, but I didn't even get that. Um, this is a bad remake. It's not bottom of the barrel. It has some things I think it does right, but a lot of this movie can be really boring to watch as long well, unless it involves a specific actor, and I'll get to that, but let me get to the cast. Jake Gill Jake Gyllenhaal plays Dalton. Uh this is supposed to be the same character from the first movie. It really doesn't feel like it. He doesn't act at all like Dalton from the first movie. Jake Gyllenhaal is a great actor. I love Jake Gyllenhaal as an actor. I love Donnie Darko. I l- I love I remember him being good in Day After Tomorrow. I really liked him in End of Watch. I loved End of Watch as a movie. Um, he's been in some really damn good roles. Um, but this I'd say is one of his weaker acting performances. He's trying his hardest to come off badass and it doesn't work. He's trying to do the deep voice thing. It's just really not working out for him. And his fight scenes aren't a lot better. I'll get to that. Daniela Melchior plays Ellie. She's a nurse that ends up checking on him. This is supposed to be the same character basically as in the first. And even though I don't love Kelly Lynch's acting in the first film, she's still passable enough. She still works and she's hot. Daniela Melchior is an up and coming actress, I guess. And I really can't see why. She's not that great here. In fact, she's just she's doesn't have much of a presence. Her character isn't like in the first film, who's like a caring doctor who's wouldn't wish death upon anybody, and in one scene she wishes death upon. Well, it's not even like a huge deal, but the amount that they just don't understand this character shows. But yeah, she's kind of annoying. Billy Magnussen plays Ben Brandt. He's supposed to basically be Ben Gazzara's character from the first film. He doesn't even close to get to Ben Gazzara, and if anything, he's just an annoying, rich, pompous, rich white guy, which is a constant thing that keeps happening in action movies nowadays, especially remakes. The white guy's got to be evil and rich, and yeah, his acting sucks. He was also in No Time to Die, and he was terrible in that too. So I'm guessing I just don't like this actor. Uh, oh shit, I accidentally went off the page. Uh, Jessica Williams. I want to save the best for last. Jessica Williams plays Frankie, the owner of the bar. I don't buy her as a bar owner. Apparently, she's a comedian. She clearly doesn't have a lot of acting experience. She is not great in this film acting wise. Uh, she constantly seems out of it. Uh, Joaquin de Almeida plays the sheriff. He's fine. I always like Joaquin de Almeida. He's watchable in here. BK Cannon plays Laura. She's basically supposed to be the female bartender played by Kathleen Wilhoit in the first. Kathleen Wilhoit's version of the character is so much more memorable. She has memorable lines, memorable deliveries. She even defends herself in a fight and actually like beats a guy up at one point in the original, which Wish we got some of that in this movie. Uh, Lucas Gage plays Billy, one of the bartenders that our main character Dalton ends up helping. He's okay. Uh, oh yeah, Post Malone or Austin Post plays Carter. He's the guy at the beginning. He's there. And last but not least, Conor McGregor is Knox, who is kind of our main villain because the like rich guy is never really fighting our main character. Um, oh boy. Conor McGregor is the best thing in the movie. I'm saying that right now as one of my big pluses because I don't have a ton of pluses about this movie. Conor McGregor, I've never seen him act. This is apparently his first. This is his first feature film that he's had a big role in, or any role in. Uh, and yes, I think he is a shining light in here. It feels like he feels his acting would be at home with the tone of the original, and that's a good thing. His acting is awesome. Some of his mannerisms are awesome, and I just wish his fights were better. Again, since it's UFC, you should be able to make the fights look good. But again, I want to get my good things out of the way because there's quite a few bad things. Conor McGregor again is awesome in this. Uh, and I'm gonna say spoilers. Fuck it. I have to talk about some of the things in this movie, and I'll have to readjust that. Conor McGregor, while his character does some stupid things, and I already said spoilers, like near the end of the film, we don't even get a fight or any like big comeuppance for Billy Magnuson's character, who's the real villain here. Conor McGregor just randomly says, "When do you ever shut up?" and then twists his neck, and I guess it's supposed to be a shock, but it's more just anticlimactic. Because when you hate a character or find them annoying, you want to see the main character kill the fuck out of them, so it's at least something. But we can't even get that. And but Conor McGregor again, Conor McGregor is the only actor in this that I think actually understands what movie he's in and understands what the tone of the movie should have been. Because the tone of the original, while serious in certain parts, was mostly allowing itself to have fun. It was a bit goofy. A lot of the dialogue is a bit like over the top. A lot of the situations, like the one guy that's like, "Hey, $20 to touch my wife's tits or whatever." And I'm like, okay, this movie understands that it's kind of goofy entertainment. It's just trying to be fun. And that's what it is. I love the original for that. There are issues, again, but it worked. And here, it feels like they took a big step backward with that, but still, everybody in the film, for the most part, feels like they're in a super serious movie, except for Conor McGregor. Like, the villain, he's trying to be, like, evil white guy, but it doesn't work because he's cartoonish to the point where I 100% knew, like, everything he would do. Because there's a bit where he's like asking to be shaved on a boat while it's going through choppy waters, and he gets cut 3 times. And then after that, he gets up and punches some dude in the face. I was watching it with a friend, and I was like, "Oh yeah, he's about to hurt somebody because he got cut," even though it's his dumbass that wanted to be shaved during like rough waves. Uh, but yeah, Conor McGregor is pretty great in this. I won't say it's a amazing performance, but he knows what movie it should have been. And the cinematography for the most part, it's kind of half and half. There's some really great cinematography and there's some kind of bad cinematography. Um, there's some moments like on the water that look really nice, like people jet skiing or people riding in a boat. There's some cool shots during some action scenes, but again, I'll get to the action scenes. Um, the look of the bar, I think, was really nice. I like that it was a seaside bar, a nice update. of the location, even though they don't even call it the Double Deuce anymore. The Double Deuce is now just a restaurant and it's a Easter egg, which why? The Roadhouse is literally called Roadhouse, which is dumb. Um, and uh, I'll give the film this. It's at least decently violent at times and had some unexpected bits. That's about it for the positive, and that it looks like a movie. Um, Let me first start with the direction in some parts. Doug Liman directed this, and there's two movies of his that I really like, with a caveat for one of them. Uh, Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, I think is still a really fun romance action thriller. Even though it's PG-13, it has some moments where it's pretty interesting in that way. And The Wall, which I think is a great film, a really great action film, uh, and really intense thriller. If you take out the last 2 or 3 minutes of the film, if you take out the ending and you have it end the way that I thought it was going to, then you have a an 8 or 9 out of 10 movie due to the acting of Aaron Taylor Johnson and John Cena, the tenseness of it, the cat and mouse thing, the way the action is shot, and just how just well done it is. And then the ending just fucks it all up. Uh, but yeah. Um, but yeah, aside from those, I hate The Bourne Identity. I think it is I think it's the worst film in the series. It's boring to me. Um, and I haven't seen any of his other movies. I haven't seen Edge of Tomorrow, American Made, Jumper. I would definitely watch all three of those at some point. But I enjoy some of this director's work, and I know that he can do action. The action scenes in this are horrible. Now, some people say that they're amazingly done. One thing that I have to point out, yes, I can, it looks like the hits are connecting. I can give it that. But the sound effects work sucks. It is the most like lifeless, like like the first scene where he's slapping the guys like that and and then punching them. The sound effects sound so cheap, especially compared to the original where they had a real punch like a I can't really recreate it, but it was like really meaty and again, lack of a better term, punchy. And a lot of the hits look CG enhanced. And what I mean by that is when the hits connect, there's a weird blur on them, making me think that they CG'd it because the actors did not hit the way they were supposed to. And the fights are never shot in the way that normal fights are, where you use clever camera angles to hide hits not connecting and correct sound effects to make it feel like the hits are actually connecting. That's what you do for a fight scene if your actors cannot actually fight. And Jake Gyllenhaal, he might have been in. I think he was in another movie called what the fuck was it called? Something Paw, Stone Paw, Southpaw. He was in a movie called Southpaw where I think he did some boxing, but in this film you would not know that he is talented in any martial arts or has done any training because, again, a lot of them feel very stale. And they're trying to do the Kingsman thing where in the first Kingsman they had the fight where I think they even did it in the second, but they had the fight where you had it look like it was all in one shot. Um and they'd like use like the backs of people to like somebody would run across the frame and they edit it. There are many times where I actually could see, not even pausing, where they cut, and it looks really sloppy in a lot of cases. And even like the takedowns in a lot of these fights are just really bland. Never in this film does Dalton rip somebody's throat out. I was waiting so long for that. And this film at times can be decently brutal. Other times it looks really bad. The gore, the CGI in this film. That's another issue I have with it. The CGI looks fucking horrible. There's again, spoilers, when Conor McGregor's character has been stabbed multiple times, the blood seeping out is very clearly bad CGI blood. It looks really fucking bad. It sticks out like a sore thumb. It looks it looks like the type of the bad CGI blood you'd see in like in like a really bad direct-to-video movie. It looks bad. And I know they can do good CGI blood because there's a movie with Ethan Hawke called 24 Hours to Live that was made for what, $20 million, I think? Less than a quarter of the budget of this film, and it looks way better. Like, let me make sure on that. Uh, because I don't want to accidentally give misinformation. And that movie is from 2017, so 7 years ago, and it has better CGI blood. Uh, 24 Hours to Live budget. Okay, no, but yeah, no, nobody's got the budget, but still, it was like clearly a lower budget film, and it had much better CGI blood. But yeah, the CGI here is awful. There are many parts, especially the boat. There's a bit where Dalton is walking down the road, and a guy, like one of the bikers, is trying to run him off the road or like crash into him so that he can say like, "Oh, his death was an accident." The car like flips over onto the side of the bridge, and when they like get out of the truck and it falls down, it's like way too fast. It's like when you do CGI and you haven't slowed it down to the point to account for gravity and how big an item like that, how long it would actually take to fall over, and it looks really fucking bad. It looks like asylum level CGI. It is terrible. I've literally seen better CGI in some Asylum films. It's really disgraceful that this made it to the screen. And I know it's a straight to streaming movie. I don't care. The 80 something million-dollar budget is not on screen at many times, especially a CGI. There's a bit where a boat's sinking and the CG water they're using just looks so bad, and I don't know why they're using CG water when they clearly filmed it on a green screen. They could, like you're telling me they couldn't just put actual water in there and have Jake Gyllenhaal actually doing that? But then in the next scene, he's underwater in the set, swimming out, and you're literally just in the water after that. And just it's ridiculous how bad the CGI in this is. Um, and the amount of characters that are just neutered in this. Like the club in the original was wisecracking, funny. I enjoyed him as a character. Here she's like no nonsense, and even though she's a comedian, she doesn't say anything funny. The female bartender from the first, Kathleen Wilhoit's character, I really enjoy that character. The cool bit of her being like dodging the glass with her tray, and then like a guy coming up to her, she like hits him with the tray and then hits him on the head and he falls over. That was cool. It was cool that they let the woman actually do something. That was a nice bit. What does she do in this? Nothing. She takes a bottle away from a guy who's trying to get drunk. She literally does nothing in this. She's nothing like that character. um Even the love interest in this, I'm not gonna say from Roadhouse specifically because in Roadhouse she is kind of just the love interest, but she's still like trying to help him like find his softer side or whatever, like give him some respite from uh all of this violence. In this, she's freaking they do the whole trope of, oh, the bad guy kidnaps her and he has to save her. They didn't do that in the original ever. She never got kidnapped. There's not even the connection of the girlfriend in the first film being the one that the villain wanted, so that's why part of why he's going after Dalton. Here, she's just the daughter of a sheriff who works for the bad guy. And in Roadhouse 2, this is something Roadhouse 2 did better. I thought at first they were going for an actual, like, cool thing or just a normal thing with the love interest, Ellen Holman, who I do really like. But then she ends up being kind of badass and she gets to kill some bad guys. She's fucking pumping a shotgun. She's actually fighting the female henchman. Like, it was cool to see that, and you don't get that here. I'm surprised. I mean, I wouldn't buy Daniela Melchior. I would buy Ellen Holman because I've seen her do martial arts shit before. She's talented. She can look like just a normal, like, girl next door. And I mean, she's gorgeous, but she's kind of girl next door looking, but she can also kick ass. That's cool. This film didn't even do that. They probably haven't even seen Roadhouse 2. And Roadhouse 2 is, even though I said it both sticks too close to the plot and doesn't stick with it enough, I would 100% rather watch Roadhouse 2 again than this. Um, what else? The frickin' again, the tone. Most of the film takes itself way too serious. A lot of interesting things from the original are changed here. Oh yeah, the bookstore owners in this are boring. Like, it's just like, oh, the girl's like, oh yeah, you're. It's like you're living in a movie, and I'm like, really? That's all they're gonna do? She's like, oh, you're living in a western, whatever. Like commentary, deconstruction of this character. There's even a bit where our main character tries to kill himself, which was never a thing of the original character, and I hate it. I hate this addition of, oh, he's suicidal, so he drives onto train tracks and almost gets killed. Um, freaking, but no, in the original, the character that that the uh daughter and father are supposed to be an analog for is the guy who's like the uncle of the love interest in the first, and his auto part shop gets burned down. And then here's the thing, spoil kind of a spoiler for the first film. Uh he ends up being one of the people to shoot the bad guy when all of the bad guys get the main villain, Ben Gazzara, gets taken out by a bunch of the townsfolk he had been terrorizing and making their lives hell, fucking up their restaurants, destroying their livelihoods. They took it back and shot him like execution style, and it was awesome. Like it felt like brutal revenge was exacted. Unlike in this film, where it's just your standard typical villain gets killed by the good guy, when in the original it was fucking the town taking back what had been taken from them. Like, it's just so many things have been made lamer. Uh, and again, the ending fight of this film, compared to the final fight that we had in the movie, in the first movie, which was against the henchmen, and then later we had dealing with Ben Gazzara's character. You have that fight between Patrick Swayze and Marshall Teague that apparently they broke bones over. That is so real, so realistic. The sound effects, the violence of him tearing the guy's throat out, basically fatalitying him, and then kicking him into the water. Fucking awesome. In this, it's a really lame fight with Conor McGregor, which it's a shame or UFC people can't do better fights, I guess. I'm gonna blame the direction on that because pretty much all the fights look like shit. But yeah, you have him drive through the door and the fight just looks so bad. These weird, again, the CGI blood looks so bad. And whenever somebody gets stabbed, it's very clearly they're doing the thing from Scream 4 where they CG the knife blade so that nobody gets hurt, and they're just like CGing it in, and I swear to God you can see it wobble, like he moves his hand and then it wobbles weirdly. It just so lazy. Like, hiring a makeup effects person, hiring a person to do like gore effects would have been cheaper, but they chose to be lazy. And that's why I'm very scared of the freaking I'm scared of there being a sequel because it just oh this was just rough to watch. Again, it's not all bad. Again, Conor McGregor is the life of the party whenever he's on screen, and somehow outacts Jake Gyllenhaal. Which even though Jake Gyllenhaal is a great actor, I don't think he does a good job in this film at all. It's still not a movie I could ever recommend. But yeah, that was my review of Roadhouse. If you've seen the film, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. If you have any recommendations, put them down there as well. And movie reviewer next door out.